One day in Paris, the door of a Rolls-Royce, one of the most luxurious cars on earth, swings open, and instead of papers, an umbrella, or a suitcase, cauliflowers spill out. The inside looks like a vegetable market. You can't help but think, is this a joke? It's not, because the person behind it is the man who spent his entire life bending what we call reality, Salvador Dalí. Dalí wasn't just someone who painted. He staged his entire life like a work of art. So if you want to understand him, you have to step into his world first. In that world, people walk around with an anteater as a pet. Restaurant bills are paid with a doodle instead of money. Someone shows up to an exhibition wearing a full diving suit, and an artist can look you straight in the eye and ask to be paid with an elephant. But the strangest part is this. Dalí's story starts before he's even born. Dalí's family had a son before him. The child dies very young and the family is devastated. Then Dalí is born exactly 9 months later, and he looks remarkably like the boy they lost. The family doesn't just comfort themselves by saying, "Our first son came back." They actually convince little Dalí of it too. Imagine hearing as a child, "You are someone else." For Dalí, reality cracks from the very beginning, and an entire life pours out of that crack. Dalí grows up, starts painting, his talent shines. But here's the difference. He doesn't just put the surreal on canvas. He pours it all over his life. Surrealism isn't just an art movement for him. It's a lifestyle. In simple terms, surrealism takes dream logic and hangs it on your wall in broad daylight. The strange images of the subconscious collide with everyday objects, creating a world that feels familiar, but unsettling. And Dalí does it so well that even today, if we see a melting clock, we instantly think, Dalí! And over the years, Dalí's paintings don't just become famous, they become expensive. When original oil paintings show up at auctions, the numbers can climb into the millions. In the Dalí market, there are basically two worlds. On one side, the real major works collectors chase. On the other, signed and unsigned prints that are more accessible to a wider audience. Dalí lives both on museum walls and on collectors' shelves. Then a woman enters the scene, Gala, the biggest turning point in Dalí's life. Gala is married, she even has a child, but she can't resist Dalí. She leaves her husband and steps into Dalí's world. From that day on, Gala is everywhere in Dalí's work. Sometimes a face, sometimes a silhouette, sometimes like a ghost. Dalí doesn't just paint her, he seals her into his destiny. Dalí's paintings already feel like dreams, but what makes Dalí? Dalí is this. The man himself is a performance. Is he a painter? Yes. But he's also a walking stage show. His hair, his clothes, the way he walks, the way he speaks. Everything is the Dalí show. And now we get to the truly Dalí-level stories. Because talking about Dalí means saying no way over and over again. Take the pet situation. People get cats, dogs, parrots. What does Dalí do? He walks around with an anteater. Yes, you heard that right. Dalí is the guy strolling through the city with an anteater on a leash. In his world, even the word pet has to be a little wild, because his whole mission is to ruin the taste of the ordinary. Now, let's talk about frogs. One of the legends told about Dalí for years is this. While painting, he would dip frogs' legs into paint and let them jump across the canvas. Picture it, a studio, a blank canvas. And Dalí thinking, no brush, frog. It has that Dalí myth vibe, but the spirit is clear. For Dalí, art isn't always technique. Sometimes it's shock value. He wants the viewer to pause and think, what am I even looking at? That reaction is exactly what he's chasing. And Dalí's showmanship doesn't stop there. He famously attends an exhibition wearing a diving suit. Imagine everyone dressed formally, acting serious. And Dalí walks in like a deep-sea diver. He takes the metaphor, I'm diving into the subconscious, and turns it into an actual helmet. That's his thing. He doesn't explain the metaphor, he wears it. Now, let's get to one of his most famous traits, his stinginess. Dalí loves money. A little too much. And he's cheap, not careful with spending, but the kind of cheap that does gymnastics to avoid paying a bill. He goes to a restaurant, eats, drinks. The check arrives. What does a normal person do? Pays. What does Dalí do? He pulls out a checkbook. He acts like he's going to write the check, then flips it over and draws a little cartoon on the back, signs it, and hands it over. What's the restaurant owner supposed to do? Sure, cashing the check might bring money, but now they're holding a Dalí signed drawing, and often that drawing is worth more than the dinner. So, Dalí invents the pay with art system. He eats, he leaves a legend behind, and he keeps his cash in his pocket. Now let's return to that Rolls-Royce scene, because it's basically a summary of Dalí's brain. One day, Dalí fills a Rolls-Royce with cauliflowers and hits the road. And when I say road, I mean from Spain all the way to Paris. The amount is supposedly ridiculous, like the inside turned into a field level. One of the most elegant cars in the world becomes a vegetable truck. You open the door, bam, cauliflower. Trunk, cauliflower. Seats, cauliflower. Everywhere, cauliflower. Why? Because in Dalí's mind, everything is an image. That cauliflower isn't just a vegetable, it's an idea. A hook thrown into people's minds. Look at me. Dalí also does advertising work. A company hires him, likes what he does. And Dalí asks to be paid with an elephant. Yes, an elephant. Normal negotiations start with, how much? With Dalí, they start with, which animal? When you step back, you realize something. None of these bizarre acts are random. They all aim at the same target, stealing your attention. Because once he has your attention, he's pulled you into his world. That's what Dalí does. He drags you into his dream. And the story ends in a very Dalí way, too. Dalí dies on January 23rd, 1989, in Figueres. He spends the last part of his life close to the center of his own universe. And his grave isn't in a normal cemetery. It's inside the Dalí Theatre-Museum in Figueres, in a crypt beneath the stage. People enter the museum to see his art, walk through his imagination upstairs. And beneath the very same building, Dalí himself is resting. As if even at the end he's saying, if you want to understand me, come to my stage. So which one is the craziest to you? The frog story, walking an anteater, paying a restaurant bill with a drawing, or driving a cauliflower-filled Rolls-Royce from Spain to Paris? Do you know any other Dalí stories? Write it in the comments. I'm curious which moment made you say, no way. And if you enjoy weird historical stories and mind-bending characters like this, Pastory has a lot more coming. Don't forget to subscribe, because in the next story, everything you think is normal is going to bend again.